God bless you this day. I'm preaching from a shopping centre car park today because my house is just too busy to preach at the moment, and it's very windy outside, so I'd get a lot of background noise if I took my phone outside. Anyway, I'm preaching today from Galatians 6, and it talks about this biblical principle, which is sowing and reaping. Now, if you think about a farmer, whatever he plants in the ground, that's what he reaps. So if he sows lettuce seeds, he gets lettuce. If he sows carrots, he gets carrots. Whatever you sow, that's what you reap. And that's a very important biblical principle to really know about. And I'm going to read from here. Galatians 6, verse 7. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption, but he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap everlasting life. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all, especially those who are of the household of faith. Hallelujah. So there it talks about whatever we sow, that's what we reap. If we are sowing, if we are generous, for example, that's what we're going to reap. We're going to reap the reward for being generous. If we're kind to others, we're going to reap that reward. If, on the other hand, we are gossipy, or we're causing trouble, or we're grumbling, we're sowing those sort of seeds, then we're going to reap the consequences of what we've sown. Whatever we sow, that's what we reap. You see it in the Bible. For example, Jacob, right? You think of Jacob. He deceived his father, Isaac, and, pretended to be, put the goat skin on him and pretended to be his brother Esau, so he could get the blessing. He deceived his father. Well, guess what happened to him with his son Joseph? What happened to Jacob? He was deceived by his own sons into thinking his son Joseph was dead. They killed a goat and put the blood on that coat of many colors, and they deceived him. He reaped back what he had sown. You see it with King David. He, committed adultery, had Uriah killed, and as a consequence, he reaped the consequences of that. What he sowed, he reaped, and his family was in absolute discord. There was fighting with Absalom and fighting between his children, and it was a terrible time for him. He reaped the consequences. Doesn't matter who you are, you will reap what you sow, and how you are living now is is a consequence of what you've sown in the past. If you're very generous with the Lord, you're going to be reaping a wonderful harvest. If you're very kind, you're going to be reaping a lovely harvest back. This doesn't just apply to money. Sowing and reaping applies to everything. But we have to realize, what we sow, that's what we reap. And it says, verse 9, and I'll read it again. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith. So we're to do good to all, especially those who are in the church, the household of faith, our fellow believers. And if we do that, we will reap a beautiful reward. But if we're stingy with the things of God, or we're causing dissension, we're going to reap the consequences of that. I don't really want to reap that kind of harvest. A bad harvest. I want to reap a good harvest. So let us sow good seeds. Let us be generous to others. Let us be kind. Let us show the love of Christ and compassion. Let's not be stingy with the things of God. Because if we're stingy, we're going to reap back a stingy reward. Anyway, God bless you this day wherever you are. But know that there is an important biblical principle of sowing and reaping. What you sow is what you reap. God bless you this day. Hallelujah.